buying dogs to practice shooting them, and talks about the rape murderer in Charleston. And the quote to this friend at the time was, he would say he wished he had the nerve to do it, meaning kill people, but all he would be able to do is kill animals. I mean, he obviously sick, doesn't even begin to describe it, but what does it tell you about mental state and what could have been done?
I mean, every day there's an...
Hi friends, this is Culprit Piso, November 9, 2017, discussing about the Christ Psychotic that kills people in church. What these people do not see is that the brain is the one that acts and sees delusions, usually induced during childhood or when the person is born, during the imprinting period, on the religious psychosis that is born into. And all primates, we freak primates, are born in religious psychosis homes. Doesn't matter. We can be from the Amazon and still we are born into the religious psychosis. It's innate, it's a virus. It's the HIV brain virus. Religion is one of the schizophrenias. It's an anomaly of the brain, because you believe you have hypophiba, which means imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief, acceptance. In other words, when the brain is like that, they have the virus, it accepts bizarre metamagical beliefs at the core of all religions and schizophrenias, temporal epilepsy, etc., as if they were true. So you accept imaginary friends, bizarre beliefs as true. That happens in all religions. These people don't see it. So they worry about the gunman that killed, Christ Psychotic, loved to kill animals and all that, born in a religious infected home. They do not compare this guy to the other white supremacist, anti-Jewish, neo-Nazi people that Psycho Trump loves. And GOP, a lot of GOP, racist, KKK, loved. And who were they? Let's go back to Nazi Germany. They were
Christian, crusaders, psychopaths, the Christianity-infected Western world. Use your brain, learn history, then you know. If it flies like a dog, swims like a duck, quacks like a duck, insisting it is a platypus is not going to make him one.
Who would enjoy killing a life, an entity, a human being or animal? Animals are life forms. So who would enjoy killing them? And this includes hunting. People that love guns and love to hunt animals in this 21st century. It was understandable 1,000 of years ago when we needed to hunt to live, to survive. Or actually the people in the jungles, in the Amazon and all that, that need to hunt to survive. But now hunting is done for fun, to enjoy it, to create dopamine in the brain, to enjoy the hunting with their new rifles and everything and killing things. That is a psychosis, friends. That's psychopathy. If you are a hunter and you like to kill things, you don't need to eat them, but you hunt them for fun and because you enjoy. You have a problem with your brain and nobody sees it. This is a psychosis. See, let's go back to Nazi Germany. Christianity infected. All Europe was Christianity infected. So the Jews were the people that kill zombie Jesus. It's in the Bible. The fairy tale book, because all religions are mental illness, psychosis. We should not take them as true in this 21st century. Otherwise, you have a problem with your brain or you're extremely ignorant. Only children have an excuse to believe in imaginary friends to be reality. In other words, to have Eiffel fever. I mean, with my children, I mean 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4 or 5-year-old. Not like Americans believe that children are anybody that is under 18, that is 16, the 15, or you're a children, or you're a child. No, they're not imbeciles. So, just go back to Nazi Germany. 20 million, 6 million Jews, Semitic people killed. Now, who would enjoy, I mean, imagine a person that is German, that believes in superior race, and believing all that, believing in Christian Hitler as a guide, just like the people that believe in Trump, the same thing. They believe a psychopath is telling you the truth, is going to save you. And Trump is just like that. Like the Congress of the United States of America, they are Christianity-infected imbeciles, people extremely ignorant. So of course, go back to Germany, 1938, 39, and they believed that the Jews, the Christ killers, were the cause of all the Germany's problems. And you actually put them in concentration camp, you gassed them, and you killed them. Who could actually harm a human being or an animal and enjoy it? This guy did. The church, and all the church shooters did. All of them. This is not only one. And the same thing like the suicide bombers, the Islam Psychotics, the same thing. But look, who would do that? Look at it. I've seen that in the Holocaust, in the films from the 1939, 1942, 43, with all this mayhem in Europe, that all those films of the cruelty, the inhumanity of a psychopath men, which happened in all Nazi Germany. I mean, and there were not only 300 Nazi people, 1,000. No, there were millions of Christians, because they were all Christians. Protestants and Catholic. They believe in zombie God that resurrects and saved with blood. And the Jews are the killers of zombie Jesus. That's where you get it from. So they enjoy actually shooting babies, shooting people, burn them in churches in France. Learn your history and just watch the programs, the science program, and the historical program. That many Christianity-infected imbeciles claim to be fake news and fake things, that the Holocaust never happened. Well, they're stupid, they're psychotic, and they have a problem with the brain. But in true history, who would do that? Myself. I think of myself being a person that actually enjoy taking a baby, a woman, and a man, and put them in a cell, torture them, killing their babies, and all their families. Because they killed an imaginary friend that I believe to be reality, and enjoy it, and having a really good time, and just eating. Have you seen the commandants of the SS having dinner and all that? They were very intelligent people, very intelligent. But the Jews were the Christ killers, and they were inferior, white supremacists. Exactly as happening in the United States of America, the ones that Psycho-Trump loves, and the GOP, the God-obsessed party, loves in this Christianity-infected nation of ours, the United States of America. So that's the truth. And people don't mention the brain, and they don't mention that that's the problem. Religion, psychosis, the cancer of the brain is the problem of everything that is happening, and the reason all these people are so crazy and insane. But they don't call it religion, they call it radicalized of anything. So religion is one of the schizophrenias. It is created here in the brain. And in fact, the brain of children, by the parents that believe in this religious psychosis and these fairy tales of religion, make them accept as if they were true. And when the brain is weak, you can grow up and still believe the fairy tales after you're 15, 20 years old. And you believe in fairy tales and you have Eiffel fever, imaginary friend of irrational belief acceptance, which are at the core of all religions, all schizophrenias. This is the truth, friends. I only speak the truth, and I'm blunt. I don't bullshit. I tell it like it is.
Homosexuality should be illegal when, in their experience, he was, looking for teenagers to date at the mall. when he was in his 30s. So they say they saw a side of Roy Moore that the voters don't know. The side that Roy Moore has presented to them is of, you know.
And there's another perfect example of what I've been saying. Christianity is a mental disorder. All religions believe in God are a brain HIV, cancer of the brain that destroy rational thought and logic, just like HIV, AIDS, virus destroys the immune system. We are evolved mutated primates. That's what we are. We're nothing but crazy freak apes, primates. And actually, the scientists should actually say it, and they don't. They're, in my opinion, mentally healthy. In other words, atheist scientists are cowards. They don't actually bluntly say that religion is one of these cancers. It's a very dangerous cancer of the brain that is spread in churches and is affecting United States of America, making me think so stupidly. And the problem is that there's too many churches, well, of course, including synagogues and mosques, but in the United States, practically a Christianity-affected nation. And it's, you know, you have the schools like, you know, Brigham Young University, you have Liberty University, you have Our Lady University, the Catholic universities, Notre Dame, for instance, Our Lady, that's what that means, which are very psychotic people, in a way. And you see that they go to church and they will believe in zombie Jesus. Regardless if they are scientists and all that, they still believe that there's some that resurrect and say with blood. They're trying to imagine making it into something else. But no, it is true. It is. If you believe in a resurrected somebody that say with blood, you are sick. You're no different than schizophrenic. And see, Troy Moore, this guy is a Christianity-infected imbecile. See? And this is the problem. He got elected, just like Trump. Just like a lot of the Congress in the United States of America, anything that something bad happens, they say, oh, our thoughts and prayers. I mean, what kind of a nonsense is that? It's schizophrenic nonsense. It actually defines a really mentally dysfunctional brain if you start saying our prayers in this 21st century. Because, you know, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, it was okay because people didn't know about science. They didn't know the brain, about neurology, and how, you know, where evolved they're primates. They had no idea about that. But today we do. So, and these people with some prayer. What is a prayer? Prayer is telepathic communication with an imaginary friend. You imagine things and you talk. That's what your prayer is. You talk to an imaginary friend and you expect results. You know, see, and it doesn't happen. It does not happen. If you get sick and you have a toothache, don't go to a dentist, which is a science of dentistry. It's created by atheists and mentally healthy people. Just go and pray that disappear. If you have a heart attack, don't go to the hospital. Just pray to see if you get cured. So this is the problem. These people are hypocrites because they keep insisting in thoughts and prayers and they benefit from the science and the technology created by atheism, mentally healthy people. So, and this you have the biggest hypocrite. He wants the Bible to be, the monument of the Bible to be placed. And the coward, meek, atheist scientists say nothing. They don't say these people are nuts and belong in a mental institution. Or the Congress of the United States, if you believe in Jesus Christ and you believe in all this nonsense, you are no different than a Muslim, the psychotic Muslim, or anybody that believes in fairy tales to be true. And people that are schizophrenic have also imaginary friends that they believe they are true and reality. And those are delusions created by infected brains. So therefore, if you are believing God and you are like a person like this, you don't belong in government. You don't belong flying a plane. You don't belong driving a bus. You don't belong being a doctor and operating on people if you are believing God. In other words, you have to be an atheist, mentally healthy, to actually be able to run countries and lead countries. And this is the problem in this country, in this nation, that you have Christianity-infected imbeciles running the country. And Trump is a perfect example. He says all the lies that he wants. He says everything that is not true, like 2 + 2 = any number. He says it is except 4. And nobody calls him a liar. Nobody calls him, you have a problem with the brain. So here's the problem we have. And he's one of the guys. Hopefully things will get better. But I very much doubt it in a Christianity-infected nation with tons of churches infected the brain of children. They rape them. That's the problem.
And at that point,
willing to likely face many more awkward moments about this as this story.
Look at this. And these are all the Christianity-infected psychos that are in control of the United States of America. Oh, ship America. It's like a schizophrenic psychos and really demented people piloting a ship, a huge ship, with 200 million or 300 million people in it. And whatever they say, that's what happens. And the captain is a psycho. He's schizophrenic. Look at Trump. And these are in control of all the departments in the United States of America. This is the problem. And they allow the churches. They all go to church. They all believe in a resurrected somebody that's with blood. They're Christians for you. That's like having a schizophrenic running the government. And their brains are all infected. And neurologists say nothing. They're meek. Mentally healthy atheist scientists are cowards. Are cowards completely. And this is the problem in this country. That's the reason why I'm completely fighting them and actually telling the scientists, wake up. Don't be so stupid and cowards and meek that don't tell it like it is. If a person is sick and you believe in a resurrected zombie that's with blood, you're no different than a schizophrenic. You're no different than a temporal epileptic. You're no different than a person under drugs. See, and these people all believe in a resurrected zombie that's with blood. There you have it. This is the United States of America for you. The most stupid, ignorant, Christianity-affected nation on the planet. And the most powerful.
Trip to Moscow. Is this how Russia usually goes about collecting compromising material on someone?
Not a presidential candidate. He was looking at it through a Russian lens. He's an American oligarch, so he's a guy with some influence, a guy with a considerable amount of money, somebody that the FSB would have just almost automatically collected against. As a matter of fact, if there had been other American millionaires or billionaires coming through and staying, in a high, nice place, nice hotel in Moscow, they would have collected against him too. So this is not at all uncommon in the sending of women, the photographing, the taping, the microphones. All of that is very, very standard, very different from the way Western intelligence services work, but very, very common for the Russians.
Some of the testimony of Schiller. Does this new reporting corroborate more of the dossier?
The storyline changed so significantly from the beginning, which is we had no contacts with Russians, to the 7 major players in the campaign having.
Like I've said ad nauseum, this is common sense. Of course there is a dossier. Of course the Russians are very brilliant and very smart. Did something when Trump was having sex with some of those beautiful women. He likes women. He's a psychopath. He's a narcissistic imbecile. You think it's God's gift to women. So you see, it's obvious that he fell into the trap because he's very wealthy, and that was before he came out to be president. So of course he has something on Trump. That's the reason he treats Putin like this, and he has secret conversations with Putin. Nobody knows about these two guys talking secretly when they met. I mean, come on. So this is the problem with Americans. They're so damn stupid. These people are ignorant. Of course there is a dossier. That's the reason Putin has all kind of stuff on Psycho Trump and the imbecile that we have for president. He puts him there. So it's right there. It's obvious.
Hotel room for a couple of minutes. So at least we know for that period of time, there was nobody taking anybody up on any offers past that. I suppose we're not sure. We just don't know. But jumping on to what both John and Julia have said with regard to the dossier, just because a piece of it, and I'm certainly not an apologist for it, but having seen a lot of raw intelligence in my day, what you have in the dossier is a series of freestanding reports from separate sources. So this isn't something that if you find one piece that's wrong or one piece that's a little bit off or something's misspelled, you just dispel the whole thing and get rid of all of it and throw it all out the window. That's not the case.
Exactly.
You have a bunch of individual reports sourced back to folks, the individual sources, that Mr. Steele was essentially running as intelligence assets inside of Russia. So this is not a monolithic document. These are a collection of documents, some of which might be very accurate and have turned out to be pretty accurate, and others which have yet to be proven or might be entirely inaccurate.
Yeah. I need to get your reaction.
See? Steele. It's a British agent, British spy. You see, this is the problem. So, I mean, Trump is fucked. You know, this psycho that we have with president, counting his day, he belongs in jail. He's a traitor piece of shit. He only cares about himself.
Many do not understand what is the prime directive of life, of course. And it is to pass our genes. How do we pass our genes? Reproduction, sex, coitus. And why do we do coitus? And the reason, of course, is because of a bait that nature places. And the bait, of course, is orgasm. It's a tremendous pleasure that propels us to actually procreate. We all have it. And of course, it is condemned by Christ Psychosis, the HIV of the brain, and many, many religious psychosis, schizophrenias, that believe that this feeling of pleasure is bad, it's a sin. In the United States of America, Christianity affected nation, we have this in all the sexual problems that a lot of important people are having, like Christ Psychotic Ray Moore, the hypocrite, a lion, a demented, hypocrite, imbecile that believes in a zombie Jesus, in a zombie Jesus, savior, let's say, with blood, and all this zombie, you know, and demented delusions, and all his followers, because people that follow him, like anyone that is a religious psychotic, that is a Christian, is demented. Is have a problem with the brain, and they're usually very extremely ignorant and dumb. You know, from the top down, which is our top is our Christ Psychosis infected imbecile psychotrop, of course, which he doesn't believe. He loves Putin because the imbecile is a Hitler Mussolini wannabe, like I've said in my videos. And he goes against his own intelligence system that say, you know, Putin was put you in power. In other words, Putin was responsible for hacking the elections and influencing the election and making this crazy lunatic to become a president of the United States. An immoral, racist, homophobe, extremely ignorant, uncouth, no culture man. And that's the problem. So now we have the results. All these sex scandals that you see everywhere. Everything is in a scandal. If somebody scratches their balls, it's in a scandal. Somebody touches a lady's brag, oh, it's a scandal. And you have all the problem, and of course, everybody else is laughing at us. Europe is just like all this crazy United States of America. But it's interesting. And see, here are the examples. And nobody realizes that, hey, it's all pheromones, the desire to procreate. We all have it. And I present you, friends, with the scientific facts in photographs so you can understand them better. No words needed. We evolved mutated primates were created by a spit of semen DNA from a penis into a vagina, fertilizing an egg, giving a tremendous sensation of orgasm. Now we're making our moms say, oh my God, this feels so good. They all say that in the moment they receive the Lord penis Christ. And this we are. And this act of coitus created each one of us, created our brains. And then in turn, the brain creates civilizations, thoughts, and everything that exists on this planet, product of evolution, our brains. We are nothing but freak primates. Here, enjoy the truth. I'm blunt, and here it is. It all begins with the penis. The embryo
begins, the Wolffian dog is a penis. And the penis gets transformed. When it's a vagina, for instance, it gets transformed, it shrinks, and all of a sudden the vulva comes around, and then you will have the fallopian tubes and the rest. And when it's a penis, you know, emerge and everything. There's a transformation, and we're all bisexual in a way, by nature. That's the reason we males have tits, and females have clits. That's the reality of life, and I only present facts. Truth will set you free. Shoe fits wear it. Paque de Orum. Here it is. Enjoy it.
Reality of science with facts, talk, religious psychosis, bullshit walks.